Because sitting down with us right now is Padres starting pitcher Dylan Cease. Dylan, it is great to see you back here with the San Diego Padres for season number 2. Obviously, you didn't get the full spring training last year with the Padres, so you're getting the full experience this year.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's cool to see how everything's run here and actually get to see from the start what it's like. So it's been fun.
When you came last year, the team was already like on its way to Korea, or
yeah.
I mean, it was.
I think it was the day of.
Yeah,
I think the day I got traded, it was around 3:00. I got the call, and I think the flight was at like 8.
That's right, man. That's right. And you see the media down there. Everyone's watching you throw. Yeah, we saw you yesterday. All right, so I got to ask you this. They have there's like a belt around you, is it like the stretchy belt?
Yeah, it's called a core velocity belt.
Core velocity. Yeah. So they put it around your waist, and you just kind of, is it to work on like driving your legs? What's it for?
It's to kind of train your lower half and just so basically it tries to pull you open, so you have to fight it to stay closed and get down the mound. So it's sort of just a way to train your lower half, and I also like it as kind of like a activation before I throw. To kind of get my body, not positions, but whatever you want to call it, get my body moving, really.
You know, and it's funny, you see this every year. You saw Yamamoto came on the scene last year. He had the javelin, javelin that he uses. Paul Skeens, Nolan Ryan. I grew up, he was the first guy to use the football with Tom House, and that was cool, and people started doing that. Paul Skeens has that weird thing he puts around the back of his neck and activates his core, I guess. I don't know. For you, what's the weirdest thing you do as a starting pitcher? Or maybe something that you want to try?
The core velo belts probably would be the weirdest. Training wise. I mean, I feel like I don't do weighted balls or any other stuff like that. So it's pretty much just stretch in the weight room, get my body moving, core velo belt, and then figure it out from there.
And then go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're obviously known for not just velocity, but sustained velocity throughout the game. How did that develop? I mean, did you know back in like high school that was something you were able to do, or when did you really realize that even among the most elite players in baseball, you had a special skill for that?
I don't know. I started throwing my sophomore year of high school is when I started throwing mid-90s, but I only really came out of relief a couple times.
Why?
Well, I was a starting shortstop, and I guess they were like worried. I was throwing like 80 my freshman year, then I went to start throwing 95, so I think they were like making sure they didn't overuse me kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I would come in close and just throw as hard as I could, and it worked out pretty
fun
good.
Fun for the other sophomores to face you.
Yeah, super fun at 95.
I don't know. I feel like I've always just thrown a certain velocity and maintained it. I've never really felt tired on a field before,
Really? Just you're not.
I've had starts where I didn't get any sleep the night before for whatever reason, and I was tired from that. But like physically, I've never felt like I've never really felt tired on field.
So you're a cyborg, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you're like
no.
like half man, half machine. Dylan Cease joins us here on Ben and Woods. I was asking you before we got started, with position players and hitters, they come out, they do their tee work, they get their stuff in. You guys get your throwing in. No. For you, Manny was just talking about how, he's 32 years old. He's had some surgeries, and he's like, I've been in camp 2 weeks, and I'm sore. Like, my body's banged up. I was talking to a buddy recently that played, and he said, it feels like they pour concrete inside your body, like after just a few days back on the field. For you, a pitcher, how hard is it for you to kind of get back in the vibe and not be sore every single day?
It's definitely a process, and another thing is like kind of tapering and learning how to like gradually increase, not just come in and do everything max effort 5 days in a row, because that's how you hurt yourself.
Yeah.
To me, it's more like there's a lot of stiffness, a lot of little aches and pains, but I've never had anything where it's like, oh, I can't move, or it's just sort of like a nuisance, really, because you want to feel, as an athlete, we're used to feeling powerful and flexible and athletic and all that, and a lot of times during spring, it's like you'll go through a week where you're like, man, I don't feel like I could jump 4 inches off the ground right now. That's how heavy my body is, but that's part of it.
It comes with the territory.
It makes sense too. It's like you're especially with throwing, it's not exactly the most natural thing to do, so we're having to both build up our velocity, our strength, and then we're having to work on the skill side of it as well. So it's really, spring training is obviously very, very important.
Well, it's fun too for the pitchers, and they talk about it every year. You guys come in and you were seeing some. I saw some velos posted the other day of guys throwing 101, 99, and it's February 25th at the time.
Yeah,
these hitters are not ready. They're not ready for that. There's no way to really train for that.
They're definitely not. They're not mid-season form.
Fun for you guys. Get your heads right.
Yeah,
being dominant early, does that help you when the season comes?
I mean, yeah, if you go out and strike everyone out, you're going to be feeling good. But I feel like it's more about the build-up and executing pitches, because if you face guys and they're, maybe they're younger minor league guys or something, and you're bouncing, breaking stuff, and you're getting strikeouts where in the big leagues you wouldn't get that, then it's like, I guess that could be a false thing. But no, it's more about, I think for me, hitting all my markers, where my velocity is, the shapes of things, is it sharp, stuff like that.
Talking to Dylan Cease here on 97.3 The Fan. And in a way, Dylan, you kept the entire baseball insider industry afloat this offseason.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wake up every single day.
Last two.
John Heyman and Ken Rosenthal tweets and Jeff Bass. Hey, the Mets have called. The Boston Red Sox are talking to H.A. Preller about Dylan Cease.
We were worried sick, man. That's what we were.
How do you handle that? I mean, in some ways, it's a compliment, obviously, but it also brings a lot of uncertainty into the equation. What has this offseason been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I usually just I feel my best when I just focus on what I have to do to prepare. Because at the end of the day, I want to be a good player and I want to execute pitches and I want to win. So focusing on all that stuff is sort of irrelevant. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be playing baseball. And yeah, maybe there's a question of where, but I guess I feel grateful to be with the Padres. So it's like there's not any hard feelings. I'm just happy to be here. And if they trade me, then I go somewhere else and I give them all there. Really, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good perspective to have, and probably one that comes with time. Time in the big leagues and being around other guys that this has happened to. You've seen guys traded out from under the team that you were on before, and of course you've been through it. And
it's a business. It's a part of it.
It really. Is, man.
It's nothing personal. It's the GMs have to build the best team with what they got, and
and you guys have to get paid what you're worth at the end of the day. I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, and going into. Let me ask you, does it change anything? I mean, you've got a year left here in San Diego at a minimum. I'm assuming it doesn't change any. Like, you still want to go out and have the best season because, yeah, man, the big payday could be coming, and it is coming if you stay healthy.
Yeah.
Are you more? How hard is it to not be like, well, I probably shouldn't go balls to the wall here. I'm hitting free agency or whatever, and that's something you've earned. Certainly by having a long career. How difficult is that to kind of adjust mentally?
I mean, I haven't got to that point where I'm thinking like that yet. That would be like. The only scenario I think that would enter my mind is if I have some sort of nagging injury that just won't go away or something.
Yeah.
It's but for the most part, I mean, I want to take the ball as much as I can, and I don't really let my foot off the gas. So I guess at the end of the day, it's like my mindset's probably, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If not, at least I gave everything I had. Sort of mindset.
I love that.
It's the least that I can make it about me, I feel like the more pleasant the experience will be. The more I make it about me and how much money am I going to get and blah, blah, blah. And you start focusing on the wrong things and you start being a bad teammate or whatever. And it's, I don't know, it's not what baseball's really about. Obviously, the financial part of it's very important. The money part of it's important. I take it serious and important. But that's why I train and do different things to prepare and put myself in a good position. So hopefully if I take care of business, then someone will take care of me eventually.
Yeah. Last thing for me, Dylan, before the show's about to wrap up, but given the perspective now of a few months of how the season ended, you hear a lot of fans will say, oh, Mike Schultz shouldn't have started Dylan Cease or asked him to go on 3 days rest. And we'll never really know, did that have an impact? What now that you've had some time to digest it, though, like that start, the 3 days rest thing, was it a big difference for you?
I mean, honestly, that was the best the ball came out of my hand, I feel like, in months, really. I mean, I was sitting 99.
Stupid game, man. Yeah. It's the dumbest game.
It is. I felt so. Game one, I didn't have a good feel where the ball was going. I really feel like command was my biggest issue there. The 3 days rest, I feel like I was pretty good stuff wise and pretty good, command wise. So I think sometimes you just get beat, honestly, and then I don't regret it. I mean, I felt good. If I was going out there throwing 92 and huffing and puffing, it would be different. But I felt great. The stuff was great. It just didn't work out.
So Dylan C's going to be starting on 3 days rest most of this season now. Going to get 45 starts this year for you. Sounds good.
270 innings.
Yeah, I'm under contract. We'll do what you guys want.
Exactly. Yeah, sign me up, man. That's like I tell my boss. You sign me to a lifetime
do whatever
deal.
you want.
You own me. You got
almost whatever you want.
Almost whatever you want.
Well, Dylan, we're glad you're still here. We're looking forward to the start of the season, and thank you so much for sitting down with us for a couple of minutes.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Dylan.